Yes, ma'am. I remember you.
You've been out there before. You've been out there a while back.
I think we was in before with the RW
Yeah, I think I've been there a couple of times.
yeah, black takeovers.
Yeah, I need to talk about David Thompson.
Yeah.
Oh, just the immigrants that are coming from Guatemala.
Okay, I have to hook up my
Yep.
computer. I have to check it.
Okay.
Beginning to the show tonight, I had a little difficulty in the control room that needed to be fixed.
I got out as quick as I could.
Okay. Let me look at that. I'm wondering if it's bulking out because something with that determination is not able to see it, but it's there. So I don't know, but I'll take a look at it.
We'll work through it. We'll work through it.
Scan do or CT is, so that's equipment that's used in the studio to put stuff up on the screen.
Okay.
Okay.
Where are we there?
So you introduce our
I don't know. Just,
Well,
yeah, maybe mid-afternoon. Yeah.
What we do.
Yeah, you know, you've been around a while. You know,
Some guy jumped me for shaking hands with Alex Jones. That was like 20 years ago.
Okay.
So we've been around a while.
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
And we've always tried to be as open and honest as we could. And we were just talking about these people coming up from Guatemala. What would Jesus do? And I asked, what would the devil do? We were talking about this.
I think we've seen it, what the devil's
two guys
doing.
going through the crowd giving out dinero.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, that's what Jesus would do. Well, what would the devil do too?
I don't know. I mean, when I just think about folks who are willing to do some things like that, something that's, you know, I mean, you have to be hurting in some capacity. You know, particularly those of us who love children and love our families, right? Know that, you know, what we would go, what
Oh yeah, Andre Arias.
They're safe and have an opportunity. And so I perhaps, and I'm not in those folks' shoes, and I wouldn't want to be in. I'm glad that I am where I'm at. But it's just be interesting to find out, you know, the pain and suffering that some people have, right? And so
I got one for you. They're coming up here. I bet they're fleeing violence and mayhem. What if we give them a couple $100 and a pistol, some ammo in the back?
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. This is what
if they want to stop violence against their kids.
I'm gonna tell you this now. If you want to have that conversation, the fact of the matter is, though, that's what we have sit down to. If we really want to be honest with you, what America has exported to those countries, well, to the government, but also to governments that we know that also have not been fair to their people, also, and so. You know, and it's not just one thing we have done just 5 years. We've done those kind of things generational. So in some ways, you know, what we see in these poor countries that are gang infested, right? This is where no one manufactures more guns. No one manufactures and exports more guns than the United States of America, right?
So let's send the Marines down there, take those guns back, and give them out on the streets.
I think what we got to, you know, and also if you look at that where that environment, that place is located. If you just, I think you look at the natural resources there. I think if we have the capacity, which I think we do.
Okay. All right. I'll take a look at that. All right. See ya.
Capacity to serve their own.
I agree with you.
You know what I mean? Because I think most people want to take care of themselves, right? And that's why I think they make these pigments. But I think, and as powerful as we are, I mean, as a nation, and that's, I mean, you know, yeah, we have our false reputation. There's no nation greater than America. And so I think if we would take those folks and perhaps help them and give some safe places for them to develop, I think, you know, most people want to be in their own environment. So
they complain about with imperial, but how come we always leave these places? We're not colonial or imperial to them. Yes, we support the government if it's something to do with something. So we support the wrong government. They don't want the government down there. It ain't like we
Well, they have a government. It may not serve them well, but my concern is this: since when did America become responsible for what happens all over the world?
Thank you.
a lot of people blame us.
Thank you.
I would say since we have fought in World War One, World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, right? That's when America has said, right, yeah, right. But also, no one is also claimed to be, right, the country that America's been. Right? No one has said that none of those other places have defined themselves like America has defined, like we have defined America. No one has, right?
So we're responsible for the world?
No, but I don't think we're responsible for the world. But I think that
every living person on the planet.
No, come on, see that's not. No, but I think.
And Germany fought every.
But I think.
I agree with Mr. Thompson on this one. I've long said we need to spend a lot more attention on our own hemisphere.
Thank you.
Right.
Our own country.
And so in fact, who's in the town has chosen, which war we're going to fight and which war we're going to, you might. And so,
well, I mean, I know that we.
Yeah,
well,
and then also, this one also, look here. When you're on the top and you are the best, and no matter what we do, no matter what arena you're in, when you are the best, right, someone's going to always come after. That's part of the thing. Why? You know what? People don't want to come to America because America ain't good. People want to come to America because America does have because we have the opportunity. Now, but I think also now people shouldn't just be able to come to America. Also, I mean that's where it should be. But people want to come here because of the goodness of America.
Come the right way.
Yeah, I mean
that's the only point I want to make. Come the right way. And the thing of it is that if I went to Guatemala today, what would I have to do to get there? I need my passport. Yeah. I need probably a whole lot of things to get in there. Maybe not very much to get in Central America, but I still just couldn't come to their gate without my passport, without no papers. I couldn't do that.
This is what it would say. In some cases, you're absolutely right. But also, it depends on your status. Right? What do you? I mean, really and truly, it depends on your status. If you come in as a refugee, then that's a different status than someone else. But no, I still would say that we have laws that should be fully applied, and they should be applied to all.
And they should.
And they should be applied to all. And so we just can't. We have because where we're located, we tend to look at the southern border. But nobody looks at the northern border and other places like that. So I mean, I would just say that we have to be, and also if we're going to be what America stands for, it's saying that fairness, right? Then be fair to all.
No, not across the world. We have too much work to do in our own country. We have too many homeless people here already. We have too many hungry people already. So, what? We need to take care of our own, as the song used to say, sweep behind your own back door.
Yeah, no.
We don't have time. We don't have time to go here and there, lend hands, give a helping hand, give out free stuff. Enough is enough.
Well, let me say this to you. Let me tell you this. We have more food here stored up. Look, hold on a second.
A lot of homeless people laying down on the bed.
We have more food stored up here.
We still talk about water.
Right. Look here, we got more food stored up here. And if we think about this homeless population that we have here, right? You just look at here in Travis County, right? There's a disproportionate number of homeless people who are African American, right? And then, but you start looking at one of the things that drive homelessness, right, is the cost of where people have to live, right? And so as cities have gotten more expensive to live at, right, and if we have not invested, right, now if we have not invested in the educational system, where these folks have an education to where they can come up and sustain themselves, well, collectively now, whether you're Republican or Democrat, we all fail. Because it costs us all.
School is free.
No.
School is free. School is free. It don't matter for what
school is
elementary, junior high, high school. School is free.
No. I mean, I think that's a misconception. Now you're talking about public school, but I mean, we all play public. See now, you can't have it both ways.
People to
no. Wait a minute. You can't
any
have
child to go to school.
You can't have it both ways.
It's free.
Because we pay this thing called property taxes. Right?
I understand.
And so those things govern. Why is that? If it was free, see, then you would have equity, right? It's because free is, but because we're driven by property taxes. That's why the inequity exists. So so if you were talking about free and balanced, that means that the schools on the west side of town will be equal. The schools on the east side will have same equal. Right.
I didn't say that it was balanced, but
it's,
I'm saying it's free. I don't play. If you don't play the race card,
I'm not. What race card?
Don't play the race card. I'm just saying.
What race card are you talking about?
Yeah, I understand, but it was disproportional on the homeless.
Right.
But because of education. But it you know what? We grew up. It was 9 kids in my family.
Okay.
Okay. We didn't live in the best of the best.
I'm a project boy.
Okay. But we sure had some parents that they would put a strap on you if you didn't go to school.
I don't.
So what I'm saying to you is that we have to raise our kids up in a way. School is priority. They have to go to school. So it's free to go to school. Yes, we all pay taxes for stuff that we don't want to pay taxes on. But school is free. So I'm just saying, if any child, you can have whatever it is you want. You have to work for it to go get it.
No, I would just say this to you, from my experience. Now, and maybe they've gotten better, right? But I can remember when I was bused from East Austin to Weather. Right. Well, I mean, I learned some things. I've made good relationships out of those things, right? I mean, so you can take some things. I still, but what I'm saying is, I can remember getting a book for the first time where I could actually write my name in. Right. All the other books I've had before. Now back to your it was used. I mean, but I'm still standing now. But I would say this. This is what I would say. Look here. The issue that we're confronted with is the breakdown of the family.
There you go.
If you look at all of these things from my perspective, right, it's been the breakdown of the family. So, like you say, and you mentioned about parents, right? Well, but if you look at the numbers, 72% of black people are growing up with a single-parent household. 54%. Well, hold on a second. 54% of Hispanics are growing up single-parent, and so I think they're like 17.
They're growing.
Because the United States of America, we lead the civilized world in fatherless homes. So when you start looking at generational, right? Generationally, you start to see, hey, the fraction of society and the poor also, right? And so one of the biggest things that we have to work at collectively is how do we start to really get back to where we value family in its totality, right?
Well, I think we know spiritually what needs to be done.
Talk to me about spiritually because
I'm just saying,
we've been praying for a long time.
What needs to be done?
We've been praying for a long time. So talk to me about spiritually.
Well, I'm talking about we have a different show prayer for today.
This is Mike's guest. On Mike's show. This is Mike's guest on Mike's show.
Yeah, we got this is good here, though. And I definitely agree because I'm fatherless. And there were things I was praying for my kids, but there were things I missed because I didn't have a day to learn them.
Right.
The man in me started showing me these things. But it's too late now. My kids are all grown up. But it's never too late.
It's never too late. It's never too late.
And we're all in this together.
Right.
The black family is the largest percentage, followed by the Hispanic, but the whites ain't far behind.
No. I mean, like I say,
we're all going down this road together.
It's an American thing.
We all come back together, or we all go down together.
Many fatherless homes in the 40s as
No, absolutely. If you look at just every generation, if you even go back, even from the 30s to the 40s to the 50s, right? We've always had it. We've always had it. What really started to have the impact on the black community and the family was the invitation or the crack cocaine, right? Right. Well, the crack cocaine, and then also the over criminalization, of locking black men up in prison, the over level of incarceration of black men also collectively. And if you look at it, and I mean, let's just look at it today, right? With all respect, right? How we deal with crack cocaine versus how we are dealing with opioids is really two different kind of things, and no one wants anyone to struggle, right? But crack cocaine was deadly to the black community.
How about that, David Thompson? We ain't got no pictures of you.
Okay.
No CD.
You saw it. It was 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
I have the videos ready of the things.
Okay.
I have them listed, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ask for which one you want me to play.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Chris.
I like this live, man. I love it. I love it, man. Yeah.
I played when it started on the every day in the war party.
Well, but see, you know,
As far as crack cocaine played, well, that's no daddy around.
well, crack cocaine, all, and you got to go back and you know.
None of my kids on drugs. One good thing I did do.
Right. Well, no, you know, we have to also, just like to be honest, hey, as much as we love America, and I love America. I mean, I'm red, white, and blue. I mean, yes, I've traveled. But the thing about it is that I love America, but I know that as good as we are, we have not always been good at everything we've done, right? And I think when you look at the crack cocaine and look at the history of it, it was deadly to the black community.
What the hell we do that?
Well, I think well, if it's government driven, then but the government singled out my community to have the biggest impact on me. So it was a double dose, right? You put it in my community. I get attracted to it. No, I say the government. No, I'm saying the government, right? And then that same system incarcerates me. And then once that system incarcerates me, it marks me, right? It marks me. Now, even though most of these people who believe in Jesus Christ and talk about forgiveness, right? Well, we don't forgive folks who've been incarcerated. We hold that against them for the rest of their lives. And those things have been designated. So therefore, when I have that mark against me, I can't go and live in public housing, right? So I can't. I'm getting out of prison. I've been incarcerated by the state, but I can't go live in state-funded housing any longer.
Okay, right? We got to move on quick. Okay. Yeah. We need to do this tomorrow.
Yeah.
Margaret, what do you?
Robert Muhammad on.
Yeah, we need to have Robert Muhammad on too.
That would be a good time with him and Robert Muhammad and talking the issues. Yeah.
Can we show a picture of David Thomas?
At the end of the show.
Okay.
Oh no.
My buddy David Thomas, he's a hardcore Democrat. Let me go quick on this. I'll just talk about it. He's in the hospital again for the. All right, but we've always been friends. We don't cut each other out over politics. We crack jokes about each other's politics.
I hear you.
And today, you know, out there's been a lot of our Senator Cruz was shanghaied in a restaurant, and they picked on poor Nancy, which I don't know about that or not, but.
Why not back? Why are you more deaf? Okay.
I mean, they shoot him too. They shot him in Las Vegas, and they shot the Republican legislators in D.C.
Well, but I would say that. Yeah, no, because because I would say that the first person that was shot was Gabby Gifford, right? I mean, right. I mean, so what I'm saying is, what we can do for me, this is what Kenneth can do.
You said
I can't add violence. I'm not. No. Anytime anyone, man, take someone else's space from, right? I don't care. None of these ideologies that we claim to, from my perspective, give anyone the right, to take something away from it. See, to me, that's the Constitution gives us the right to have these disagreements, right? But the Constitution doesn't give us the right to physically address anyone in those capacities, from my perspective, right? Even though we have freedom of speech, I think there still should be civil discourse. That's why I love doing what I'm doing. That's why I love it, man. I mean, I can do this. I get a joy out of this conversation.
Okay, so now.
Being on radio, huh?
Yeah.
I'd like to go to number 4 first, but we'll never get off that one. All right, number 4.
How long is it?
Check this out. Tell me what the hell we're seeing.
This is so cool.
Yeah. My daughter-in-law got to carry somewhere tomorrow. She watching me on TV, Daddy? Come on, I'll be there. I got you covered. Oh, yeah, there's going to be no sound on it. I know I do because it's in Spanish and I'm not real good at it. You see there, the two guys in white t-shirts? Let me pass it out there.
Let's keep it moving. Well, that's some money in that nation, from that country.
I can swear he said dinero.
Well, yes, it's dinero. It's not U.S. dollars, but it's some
Yeah, but
it's the Mexican dollars. Giving them all that
we
money.
talked about what would Jesus do. Would Jesus hire those two guys?
I have no idea.
He registered them to vote.
Well, let me tell you what he would. Well, let me tell you what he would do.
All right.
Okay, so he would have told his disciples
Wait again.
to get the 2 fish and bring them 5 loaves of bread.
Mm.
He would have prayed, it would have been multiplied, and he would have fed them all.
Okay.
He didn't give them no handout. And that's the very thing. If you want to go that route, just like the man at the gate at Bethesda, he never wanted to get in the pool, but he wanted a handout. He wanted to sit up there and he wanted a handout. So what happened when the disciples walked by? He said, "Silver and gold have I not." But he was out there looking for a handout. He wanted some change, but he never got his behind that pool to get healed. And that's what that's what was there for him to be healed. The pool was stirred. He said, "Well, every time I get ready to get in, somebody else beat me. Take your turn. Be aggressive and get in that pool."
I like what you said, be aggressive, right?
So,
Well, but why would we say be assertive? Right?
well, you can
Yeah.
say whatever you want to say.
You know, I mean,
However you
look
want to
at-
say. My thing is that do what you got to do to get in there.
Well, and see,
And don't stop blame shifting. Just do it.
I don't-
So my thing is that I don't believe Jesus was handing out dollars for these people. We know that it was a motive, ulterior motive. Really.
I'm afraid I have to agree with her on that one. There's some reason these people have decided now to come.
Well,
Somebody has riled them up into doing it.
I would say this again. Anyone I think that have children,
Yeah.
who love your children, and who have raised children, and you've seen children that's 2 or 3 years old, and you think about the terrain that these people have to navigate and come across, right? And that has to be something that you run away from.
well, you know,
People don't run. Let me
Well-
say this. Let me just say this. People don't leave. I don't think people don't leave places where things are
if
good
you've
at.
been told
People-
you're going to get paid,
But people don't leave places where it's good at. I mean, I don't.
Well, they've been leaving it.
That didn't mean-
Why now decide to
well,
come out
that
now?
didn't
maybe
mean
it's
that
got-
it was
maybe
good.
Maybe it's got worse.
It's not any worse. I keep up with what the politics down there. Weird, but
Well, I
But
don't
the
know.
thing, but the fact of the matter is that you're absolutely right. When you have your children with you, I mean, you would want to be safe. But if you've been promised something, some monies, and you know what? I've heard people talk this morning. Of course, it was on as the channel that President Trump said, the fake news. It was on CNN. But anyway, what was said was that this woman said, one woman says, I'm thinking about turning around and going back.
Yeah.
And she's asking her why. And so she said, because I didn't expect this to happen.
Right.
I-
So that
I've
makes
never
you-
been sleeping on the ground, sleeping in the cold. My children this. Half the people were, some of the people were exactly. They were promised something.
in the past, you send your oldest boy, go to America, make us some money, send it back.
Well,
Not this whole stuff like
Well, like I said, this I think if we take a serious look at it from our perspective and look at what we have as a country have exported to those communities, I think then we will recognize that we have just as we have exported some horrible things to those communities, we have an opportunity to help rebuild those communities.
no, we don't.
Yes, yes.
No, we don't.
Because
No, we don't.
Because we have torn down. I mean,
No,
yeah.
we have not. And another thing too is that number one, they have a leader. They have a leader.
yeah,
Their government is responsible for its own nation of people. It's not another country's responsibility to take care of somebody's. But you know what? But their president, what is he doing? He probably live in a palace just like Saddam Hussein did.
But have you? Well,
So,
I
no.
mean, well, look, well, you want to talk? We can talk about Saddam.
No, I'm
No,
just
because-
giving
no,
an
hold on,
example
No, because that's the perfect.
that
That's a,
stop.
wait a
We
minute.
ain't
That's-
giving nothing else free.
Wait a minute, hold
Stop.
That's
No,
the
for
perfect,
real.
Let me say this. That's the perfect. That's the perfect example of America export. Hey, we went to a country, right? Talk about weapons of mass destruction. So look at what for now for 2 generations, right? Now let's go back to let's go back to this. Come back to let's go.
It's time for your show, Mike.
We know about these weapons of mass destruction because we sold him something.
Well, we didn't find none.
All right, here we go.
Look,
Yeah.
They don't sell them. They're
He
not
probably
selling
took the
themselves
soul
like
to
a
somebody
can of
else.
soup.
Make
Yeah,
money.
yeah. Well, I know.
They're compounding
Bring them
parts.
forward.
Bringing them?
Man, come on. That sounds easy.
They found the parts, but they didn't find it assembled.
Well, that's not what the rest of I don't know what component of the world is saying it other than us, because I'll tell you who's not saying it. The man who went before the United Nations, General Colin Powell. Now he is one that admitted, right?
Okay,
He admitted that he was wrong in his assessment. And so, and that was the same man that you. No, this is no. Well, come
Okay,
on.
let's see what's going on here.
Let's see this, I think. Ah, see, he's waving them on. Where's this guy coming? Waving them on. So they done hired this guy. Probably paid him good money to get just park over here. We'll load you up. I know that it is. They stole the truck. Shit, he pulled me down. Huh? You could be cash. I all about anything.
Yeah, I tell you what.
Come on in, Judge Soul's got your back.
I know I would hate for
Well.
I know I would hate for my kids to have to go through that. I just know I would hate for my kids to have to go. I don't know anyone at this table.
I don't know why they
Right.
do it.
I don't know anyone at this table would say, "Hey, look here, that's what I would want my kids to do," unless there was some very tragic
They used
circumstances.
to send the oldest boy or youngest boy, whatever, out, go to America and see cash back.
Yeah, and that's true. That's true, and also, but also when they came here, we benefit from their labor. It's not like we ain't benefited from their labor.
And as far as
They benefited. They got paid.
I'm not saying they didn't, but I'm not. But don't. It's
yeah,
not. It's not a one-way street.
Here's the thing.
And it's
If you come the right way.
Well, I would say that. I would say.
Just come the right way.
I would say then. Yeah, you and I didn't come the right way.
Well, I was born in Breckenridge Hospital. I was born in Breckenridge Hospital. You.
Did anybody see that lady that they interviewed that had her 3 children with her, and they were on that bridge, and they started seeing everybody started getting off the bridge and crossing the river.
You talking about Guatemalans?
Yeah, between.
No.
Okay, well anyway, she said she got off the bridge to take her kids in that water to cross over, which was you're talking about with the children stuff. Now here's the issue: it's not only just the people and what we're going to do with them, how we're going to feed them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of diseases that have been eradicated here in the United States.
Yes.
That in other countries, they don't have the same vaccinations. They still have smallpox and mumps, measles, all that stuff running rampant. That's my fear. Is with my health compromise. That's the one that that's my issue. Is what is coming over with them.
And I think that is a very valid issue, and I don't think that's one that's discussed nearly enough. It'll be interesting to see of the communicable diseases that you have talked about, right?
Tuberculosis is a big
what
one.
percentages of, because also why you say that, and also because there's a trend that's taking place down here in America, right? Where less and less and less of our population are vaccinated. So yes,
now I stopped vaccinating when my kid went into middle school, and they told me that he had to be vaccinated for that hepatitis or whatever it was.
Yes, ma'am.
I put my foot down because when I discussed it with my doctor said unless he was exposed, he didn't need to have it.
Okay.
But now when you look at what children have to be vaccinated for, it's just not what we had when we were growing up. I got that circle thing on my arm over here.
I got one.
They don't do that anymore. But I got that circle thing. People ask, what is that? It's like,
Diphtheria?
no, it was a polio. It was a polio shot. But they have them where when my kid was growing up, and if you have children, you know about it. They just had the MMR, the whooping cough one, just a few of them.
Chickenpox.
Now chickenpox was now chickenpox one kind of. But then you want to have chickenpox, but now we cursed ourselves because we'll get the shingles.
Yes.
But the disease is coming over now. Puppy used to go down to the border and clean up along the border. I swear, the thing was this thick that he found. It was all about one man who had come. He was deported once, and he came across the border and came back in, and he left his medical papers there. This man was taken to This man was
He was
put.
picked up in Florida, treated for tuberculosis in
I'll
Atlanta,
get
and
this.
deported to Laredo.
I'll get this. Hold
He
on.
stood all over when he
Hi.
did. There you go.
My story. Shut up.
Sit for
Breaker 19.
I'm ready to kill this man. I'm
Break-
No,
telling you.
Chris.
Breaker.
I can get away because I have chemo brain, okay? I'm on chemotherapy drugs. But anyways, in this
He
thing,
can get away with
he
it. He
got
watches them shows all the time, too.
he got hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of care
Yeah.
at this hospital because it was one of those the penicillin antibiotic resistance variety. And this is kind of scary, what has come over. Now, when my grandfather, my mother's father, came over from Italy, he came in through Ellis Island. He had to take the class, but he was allowed to work and do all that stuff. But he had to learn English. He had to take the oath. Blah blah blah. When you had tuberculosis back then, you weren't allowed in the United States.
You had to be quarantined, yeah.
You had to be
Yeah,
quarantined
quarantined.
away from everybody because if you came in with a disease like that, that's so devastating. You were taken out of the people who could come in. And there were some other diseases that they wouldn't allow come back in. And that's the scary part to me because, you got the kids going to be going to school.
Everything is
And
airborne.
then you've got
All them
your
people that
kids.
got in that truck, they're too close.
Yeah,
everything- it's
all
all the-
Let me
this
tell you
blended
something.
in.
Let me
But
say
anyways, that's my 2 cents, and I will be playing number 1, and then we'll play number 4.
I would just say that people can survive close quarters. I was just in the up in Washington D.C. at the African American Smithsonian Museum, right? And so when you see the belly of slave ships, people can survive close quarters. I mean, you used to, and but I think what that also says is that no matter what your condition, because God gave you life, not man, right? That as long as you keep that source as your source, you tend to survive it. Man, we are the ones that are perhaps more judgmental, in my estimation, than perhaps the Spirit would ask us to be.
What do you think they'll do? The people get here, thousands of them.
Well, I think initially, find out what are their reasons coming here, right? I mean, what are their reasons, and then well, they may not, but I think those who we can send back to their country, go back to their country. Those who we find places that perhaps can be here, right? That have people here, then perhaps we give them opportunity to be here.
No, we don't.
I mean, you talk. Well, you talk about a society that has an aging population, right? Right, and so therefore you look at, and then also just start looking at this when you go out to dinner. To look at the increase of time that you have now to have to wait for your service, and part of that has become because with all respect, now we have lost a lot of those wages, those people who've done those jobs. And I can say this, many of the jobs that my brown brothers and sisters have done, right?
The white brothers and sisters doing their job?
No, he's right on, because black and white folks are historically not doing those jobs, right? And so the last time I stayed in a hotel, right, and I watched those folks who was doing the service in the room, now I didn't see a whole lot of soul sisters. Right?
Well, that's not the point. The fact
Yeah,
of the matter is that you know what?
That's a cost. And probably what they're paying them workers versus what it would cost someone else. So therefore, the cost of also living probably would go up exponentially for all of them. And so I think sometimes we have to be careful not to operate on just on emotion. Sometimes operate on some real facts. From my perspective.
Really?
But there's another
Okay.
one. There's another one that gets me. There's another one that gets me. Is television. Okay.
Okay.
They have these shows on there, like the Mayans Motorcycle Club. Shows Hispanic bikers, and and it's not. It's showing biker life it's the violence in it. Okay. And then they had that other one about the black guys out there in California with the cocaine. What was it called? Snow or something
Yeah,
like
okay.
that? Why are they doing shows like this when they could be doing shows like what was the guy with the black superhero?
You talking about the Black Panther?
Yeah, the Black Panther dude.
Well, that's my brother. So
Yeah, so why aren't they doing
because
more shows like this?
I think you have to chase the money. Chase the money. You know what? You can't always look at who's out front. Sometimes you got to go back and look at who's behind the scenes, right?
Exactly.
Because if I need income to take care of my family, right? Then maybe I'm willing to play those roles, right?
And
But if I have the money to be the producers and the directors, then perhaps then I get more of the Black Panthers. But if I am not in those roles, then surely I cannot have an opportunity to always to see myself as I think I should be.
I just
That's a
think
lifestyle.
be
It's a lifestyle.
So that there's other ways to live besides
Absolutely.
doing all that stuff.
I like the way I live.
Because I like the Black Panther.
Right.
But there's also that TV show. There is also that TV show that comes on I think Tuesday nights or something about the Black Lightning. And you know, have you seen that?
I've seen the. I don't get a chance to watch a lot of television, but I've seen the clips
the
of it.
previews of it, but it's him and his family. They're like the superheroes and everything.
Yeah.
And so you know, I could see that.
He's doing good. He's not out there doing violence. He's not out there
And
creating
then the
violence.
black crime, you know, it's just so sad that you know there's just so
No,
much.
let me see.
I'd rather see the Flintstones.
No, let me see this. Let me check it. Hold on a second. This black on black crime. It's no different than white on white crime. And brown on brown. No, because you got to understand who's providing the message.
Oh,
right?
exactly. Okay.
I mean, if you look at who's providing the message, right, then perhaps that message is going to be skewed. But when you look at someone who commit crime, most times, black people commit crimes against black people because that's who you're in. White folks quit, but you don't hear them talking about white folks when you look at who have killed each other. White folks kill each other. Brown folks kill each other.
But they just don't publicize it as
well,
much.
they don't. It may be.
It's sensationalized.
That I love what you said. You got it. You're right. And I think because sometimes, let's be honest. There is money in race.
Mm-hmm.
There's money in the conversation about race at any time, right? And so anytime, and then also anytime. I don't know. But there's money in the conversation about race, and then also race is one of the things that make people uncomfortable talking about. And
That's
then
why
also we get into silos about race, you know, and what we forget is that we're all part of the human race.
Exactly.
And we all come in the same way.
Exactly.
And we all gonna leave the same way.
Exactly.
I mean, at some point, that's what really trips me out because at the end of the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all it all works the same for everybody.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go back in there and I'm going to show number one.
No, show number 3. We'll go out number 1.
No. I'm going to show number 1 first and then number 3 because that's what they put up.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, hey.
See how smart I am? Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, you did.
The crime thing, and also, be truthful. A lot of times in black crime, they won't mention the race. They show cops that they have on, you know, bad boy, that show.
right.
The producer got in trouble for talking about how they'll film 10 incidents and they can only show 1.
Well,
Because they show so many. Oh, okay. They show so many that are just black split crime. They don't want to show them, so they have to get Yes, this is the problem.
I'm telling you, you've been promised. They've been promised something.
Yeah, that's some reason they try to come in this man like that.
I like, you know what, you're right. You're right. They have been promised something. They have been promised the greatness of America from what they've seen, right? They have, that's what it ain't no guarantee, but they have been promised historically about the greatness of America. That's what they've been promised, right?
And what I really hate is that they've been set up.
No, what I'm asking,
and they've been told a lie.
What I'm asking is, why are they doing this right now?
I have no idea.
Right before a vote. It's time to vote. It's time to vote.
Well,
Didn't have somebody riled up to let the all
well,
go.
it's time to vote.
Why would it be? Yeah.
Pelosi is behind it all.
Yep.
She's having to come here so that they can get to South Texas and get to those voter registration cards that are halfway filled out for the people already.
And you know,
Yeah.
Democrat voters right there.
and you know, and somebody would tend to believe that. I mean, we are so messed up. We are so messed up in the way how we process information.
That
That we
really?
develop. Yes, yes. That
Do
we.
you think it's not possible?
Oh yeah, I mean.
Somebody put the word out on social media.
No, I don't think that's possible.
Really?
I think that's I think that.
Why did they decide to come off?
That I don't know. I mean, I'm not. I mean, I hear a lot of the ladies. I hear the ladies. Well, one thing they have learned also because of the guns and the trails that they have to right. That this it's no different than what Jesus. Hey, what the 12 disciples? You know what the 12 disciples did? They traveled in a pack too.
Yeah, but you can't compare the 12 disciples.
Wait a minute, don't tell me what I can't. Wait a minute.
Okay, well, this is a total different
No,
scenario.
don't tell me what I. Hey, but I'm telling you, but also the disciples also are bigger also because they have body. But but if traveling packs is good enough for Jesus boys and Jesus boys, why aren't they good enough for these other folks?
This is not a Jesus movement.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why. This is not a Jesus movement. I mean, I'm just saying. This is not a Jesus movement.
I'm just tell you, y'all got me. I'm trying to figure out where. No, I'm saying. So if
Well,
traveling in
you
a
and
pack
Mike
is
will
good.
have a good show today.
Yes.
I'm just saying, this is not a Jesus movement.
So what
And I assure you, there's all kind of tricks and tricks that are set up during when it's come time to vote. And I assure you, there's a lot of mess in
Well,
it.
I think we're going to have to deal with this, so we need to think outside the box how we deal with it. We can't.
And like I say, I think the first thing you have to do is quit exporting all these weapons down to this country. I mean, you got to quit. You know, that's the other thing. You never want to. Some people never want to talk about is the horrible stuff and like I said, I love America, but none of us want to talk about the horrible stuff that we have done under all of it. And it's not just a Republican or Democrat administration. It's been the American government. If you look at what we have done in Central America, it's been horrible.
A lot of the things we've done down there has been soft power.
I mean, have you heard of Iran Contra?
Yeah,
I mean, where we were selling guns and missiles to these folks.
Okay, let's not go there, though.
No, but those folks, but they come to Honduras.
Therefore, they're entitled to come.
No, I'm not saying no. What I'm saying, but they're entitled to say, man, that if we have exported junk there that has caused major dysfunction in the way they exist, right? There are opportunities.
The government didn't have to.
You're assuming there's a major dysfunction.
No, because
they're leaving.
no, because what I'm saying to you, you tell me, my brother, where do you leave when you're having a good time? Where do you leave when things are going right for you? When do you get up and move your whole family when things are going right for you?
Somebody promises you something that you think may be better.
Oh, come on.
Because they all come at the same time. Well, why did you start?
I tell you what.
Somebody did this.
Well, I think you're entitled to that, but I think that's
It's better over there.
yeah.
On the minute where the president of Guatemala told them to gather to move north.
Somebody told them all, get it.
So the government said, right. I thought.
That's more money for him.
Well, and did the president, by any chance, decide to call President Trump and say, my people are they're in desired places. Can you help them out? Will you allow them to come across the border? Heck no. He didn't call President Trump and ask him that.
Next one is the looting.
Looting Temple. I know my buddy David Thomas, Democrat friend, would love to be here with this one. I hope he gets better. I don't worry about him out there, boys. I think it's the 4th time in the hospital. And
Look.
They're doing the hurricane.
No,
So-
Guatemala's got their.
Hurricane.
Well,
They didn't have no money.
Right.
yeah, but they're in Mexico now.
You can hear the. It's talking in Spanish, but you can hear the gunshot at the end of it. You know,
Hey,
they started helping themselves with some merchandise with no money.
so I'm telling you, whoever put this whole plan together, they didn't think about the other.
You don't have these
They didn't
things,
think about the innocent people, like what these policemen are having to do to police these people.
Have to go to
Oh yeah,
bed
no,
somewhere.
right, no. I think when you probably put those things together, if you don't do them, plan them out, yeah, there's some folks who are going to be the casualties of A candidacy of a movement.
I want to talk at least some about this lawsuit that's pending in the Twin Cities Judicial Court here in Travis County. It involves a little girl who was bullied on a field trip with Lively School, I believe, in Waco, which is it's a prime primary school for the Baylor University professors and whatnot up there. Mm-hmm. I think she goes there on scholarship or something.
Private school?
Yeah, it's a private school. And it's partly, I think it's on property that's owned by someone who lives in Travis County. That's why the suit was down here. Because if the suit had been filed in McLean County, nothing would have to be Baylor up there.
It's just the coalition stuff, right?
Yes.
I thought I read about it.
I think KT and I were involved in a meeting with
the attorneys.
Levi McCaffrey, who's the lawyer.
Is he the lead attorney? Okay, yeah, one of the lead. Yeah, okay.
All right, we go that way for the last 8 minutes.
Okay.
And he now the private school is represented by a firm out here in Austin.
Okay.
And what they've done is I think Levi, if you recall, Levi told us all they wanted the school to do was to apologize to the mom because they in the act of so-called bullying or horseplay, that's what the defense is calling it. This little girl has rope burns around her neck. I mean, serious rope burns.
They were trying to hang her?
Almost like they were trying to hang her.
They
put a rope around her neck and was jerking her around.
Wow.
And she had to go to the hospital. And I think Levi and them took the case. He was talking to me about when they took the case. They just took the case. They weren't charging a fee for it. They took the case because they thought it was just the right thing to do. But the defense firm has since filed a motion with the judge to prevent them from mentioning bullying, from mentioning the fact that this incident was covered on TV because after we met KT we met at Hoover's, I believe, and Chaz and I went up to Waco one day and we were protesting in front of the school.
So it's almost like some little folks got protest too, huh?
Yeah.
I got you.
I try to do what's right, man.
Right.
I won't kneel though.
Right. Well, we'll talk about that. Because I would, but that's a whole different conversation.
You would?
Yeah.
Tim Tebow kneeled too, but they said nothing.
That's right.
But if
you go back to history, man, some of my white brothers used to kneel also in baseball. I mean, there's a whole history. But this young lady that what's really heartbreaking about this, is that this mother got a scholarship to the school, to try to, give her kid a better opportunity and existence, right? And so more than likely, she was probably not in the majority. Matter of fact, probably what I would call the super minority, right? In terms of right. And then, but for these kids who come from this Christian ethos, Baylor, right? Right? For them to even want to put a rope around a kid's neck, right? Even in horseplay, right? The symbolism from my perspective is hard enough also, right? In terms of, and then to leave that lifelong. See, it's just not the physical scar.
So she's gonna have a scar for life.
That's right. It's not the physical scar. It's this one that you can't see.
Because the rope burns were all the way down to the waist,
right, to where right. And so I'm glad that they that they took the case. And like I said, I think what's really disheartening also, all they really wanted was the school to acknowledge that they had done wrong.
And to apologize.
And to apologize.
And when you read, they weren't even asking for money.
And I'll go back to this thing, and I could be wrong, but I was mentioning just a minute ago that race is one of these things that's so hard. I've been accused of playing the race card already, but I'm going to talk about race, all right? Because here is this, because here it is, they can't even apologize to this black lady. Here's a Christian school that's supposed to be now. Here we talk all these folks talk about how good when you talk about Christians, this forgiving nature of them, right? And here you have this opportunity, right, just to acknowledge perhaps that hey, that your oversight
Right.
wasn't right. But you don't have it is something about who she is.
You're just so arrogant that you're just above
that you can't
an apology.
Right.
I presume this is
And
predominantly white school.
I think yeah. And I think it's a fairly expensive school also. You know, to attend also.
We never did get back to education, but we'll some other time.
When we went up there to protest in front of school, remember I holding the sign, all this stuff, and no, they were ready for us. And we were interviewed on TV about that, and that's another thing that
she got another video?
That the defense lawyer didn't want them to show or talk about the press coverage of the thing.
And so now have the judge.
We're not protesting.
Well, we got to that. Now I'm going to have to check with Levi and this evening.
If it was granted.
Because I think they said the trial's going to take, he anticipates 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I'm going to talk to him this evening and see what we can get.
I'm going to have to go.
So if you go up there and hold a sign, Martha should stand by you.
Huh?
If you go and hold a sign up there at the school, Martha should stand by you.
I will go. I'm going to the 250. I'm going to go down to the 250.
So, folks, is there anything else?
Yeah, we got to go here.
That's in the 250 Judicial District Court in Travis County.
Yeah, with all this, the politics is getting so, like Ted Cruz and like all this stuff, people are cussing out. You know, we didn't put no Ted Cruz sign in front of our house because we're afraid somebody might throw shit at it or something. You know what I mean? So me and David Thomas there, we started out veterans for Laughing Well back when Lee Laughing Well was mayor. Remember that? Yeah. And we always made jokes about each other's politics, but he's a good friend. I consider him a good friend. We don't hang out a lot, but I've always admired. He's dedicated. He's a hardcore Democrat. I ain't never changed his mind, but we never fight about our politics. We know we got different politics.
Right on, man. Right on.
And now he went to the hospital Saturday night. He's 70 years old, 70-something years old. This was the 7th time in 3 months.
So he's in another fight.
He's in another fight.
He's fighting for his life.
Yeah, now he needs to. He's found the Lord finally or something. Oh, I had him a cigarette smoking. He's smoking something else.
Well, but see, the thing about it, I don't know if you have to find the Lord, because I always thought that the Lord is everywhere. You know,
well, he is, but
I keep thinking that somehow ways we have been. This is Kenneth speaking. You know, if God has created everything, this all-knowing power and all these things, that why do you create something that already know what's going on?
Stephen Hawking says God doesn't exist. Says there's no God. I do believe that. I believe that's a God, and I think even Jesus may have existed, but I don't know if it existed in the way that it's been portrayed from my perspective. Right? I mean, but I keep searching.
Why don't we talk about your radio show before we give up?
Tune in Wednesday mornings on The Voice of Austin, KAZI Radio, 88.7 FM, The Voice and the Choice of Austin.
See, Nelson Liggers on Monday morning?
Tuesday
morning?
I'm on Wednesday. I'm
on
Wednesday morning. That's I'm on Wednesday. I do the middle of the week. I'm that hump. I want you to ride it all the way down. You know what I'm saying?
What about I have a Pentecost show on there?
That's fine. Hey, maybe we have to do that, man. I am open. Yeah, I'm open. Hey, man, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Life is too short to be miserable for me. And I got friends who walk all states of this existence, man. And at the end of the day, I could care less whether you're a Republican or Democrat or what. What I care more about is you're a decent person. That's the end of the day. We may disagree, but
we're gonna disagree. No doubt about that.
You ain't the first person I disagree with, and more likely you ain't gonna be the last.
Cool.
I got a wife I've been married to for 38 years, and I tell you what, we still disagree. And I ain't going nowhere.
I know Ma likes these kind of discussions, so we will do this again. Next week we got Laura Presley coming on.
Okay.
She's real good about that, but after the elections, maybe we do need it.
Laura Presley, she's nice dog.
No, we're on for another
election integrity.
Yeah.
Well, we know.
And I think this thing, I've always been leery about papers. I've always been leery about papers voting. I've always been. because I grew up in high tech, and so I know the power of software. You know how you can manipulate every vote can be a half a vote to I mean it's a lot of things that can be done.
Well, we got 10 seconds, so appreciate you coming on, everybody.
I think the old-fashioned paper ballot is the way to go.
Stay
Hey,
tuned.
that's right.
30 minutes. Mike Lee will be on. 30 minutes. This channel. Don't go anywhere. Bye-bye, folks.
Let me go set up.
Yep.
And one-on-one